So, a very good morning to everyone present here. Today, we'll be
Morning,
starting
ma'am.
with. Morning, ma'am. Good morning, beta. We'll be starting with, in continuation with what we did yesterday. That was the effect of taxation on production. We did, and now today we'll be starting with effect of taxation on distribution. When we talk about the effect of taxation on distribution of income and wealth, uh, then we have to see that that is also one of the objectives of the government, especially in a developing economy like India. That the government of these countries is a welfare government, a welfare state, and that is why the intervention of the government is essential, and for that the market mechanism sometimes brings in more inequalities in the income and wealth distribution. How we will look into that, and then we try to look at the effect of taxation on distribution. So start writing now. The market mechanism by itself, the market mechanism by itself generates ever widening income inequalities.
Ma'am, generate. Please repeat.
The market mechanism by itself generates ever widening income inequalities. However, the objective of reducing inequalities.
Ma'am, your mic is on mute.
Oh, sorry. So I'll just repeat. The market mechanism by itself generates ever widening income inequalities. However, the objective of reducing inequalities is likely to come in conflict with is likely to come in conflict with
Ma'am, however, the objective of
reducing inequalities. However, the objective of reducing inequalities is likely to come in conflict with that of increasing production and economic growth. What we are trying to look at here is that the market mechanism, as soon as left free to operate, creates wide income inequalities in income and wealth distribution. Why? Because then only the private sector, which is dominant in terms of market playing an important role, plays a major factor, plays a role of the major player in this kind of scenario. And then those people who are able to pay the market price determined by the demand and supply will be able to procure the product, will be able to use that product, will be able to consume that product, and in that way their welfare is going to be enhanced. On the other hand, the people who are not able to purchase each and everything at the market price determined by the demand and supply forces, they are not able to avail those kinds of services, they are not able to procure those products. So what will happen? Their welfare is going to be adversely affected, and they will be, getting more poor, or they will be, their quality of life will be adversely affected in that situation. What will happen as a result is that there will be a disparity, there will be a wide gap between haves and have nots, between rich and poor, and that will generate inequalities in the income and wealth distribution. But you have also written that this objective of reducing inequality is likely to come in conflict with that of increasing production and economic growth. That means as soon as we talk about the welfare state, and the welfare state has an objective of reducing inequalities, because you are the government, you have the responsibility of providing the goods and services, and at the nominal cost, at the subsidized cost to the general masses. But then what will happen? The market, which is going to procure the price through demand and supply, will not happen. And in that case, automatically, the producers, as a result, are going to be, discouraged to increase their production. And if the production is going to be decreased, automatically employment is going to be adversely affected, and hence if employment is going to be affected, their incomes, their savings, their investment for economic growth is going to be affected. So that is a conflict for these developing nations, for these underdeveloped economies, where the state performs the major role of a welfare state. So sometimes the state cannot say that we are running in loss, and so you must pay the market price, you must sustain our economy. Why? Because if we do that, then that government will be ousted from its power and position, that government will be voted against. So that is why there is a conflict, and this objective of increasing equality or reducing inequality in income and wealth distribution is going to be a very problematic one in the case of these kinds of governments which we have. So here the role of taxation on distribution becomes very important. Now continue writing it. Now here we may break the problem into two parts. We may break the problem into two parts: short term and long term. In the short run, any income and wealth distribution pattern, in the short run, any income and wealth distribution pattern can go in harmony with the production level.
Ma'am, please repeat.
In the short run, any income and wealth distribution pattern can go in harmony with the production level. Or it may be assumed, that the total national product is already there. The total national product,
That
or it may be assumed that the total national product, that is GNP, what you call gross national product, is already there. And now the problem is to determine the individual share, and the problem is to determine the individual share of the members of the society. Please mute your mics. So I am just repeating this sentence. We may break the problem into two parts: short run and long run. In the short run, any income and wealth distribution pattern can go in harmony with the production level, or it may be assumed that the total national product or GNP is already there, and Now the problem is to determine the individual shares of the members of the society. That is what you call the short run problem of income and wealth distribution. So short run is not a very big time. Short run is a short period of time. So what we are assuming is that gross national product is already there, it is given. The quantity of the total national product is given, and what we need to ensure is equal distribution of that total production into different individual members of the society. So then the problem is not that complex, but in the long run, now you can write, in the long run, a reduction in inequalities, in the long run, a reduction in inequalities brought about by taxation, a reduction in inequalities brought about by taxation might be counterbalanced, by increasing inequalities of, by increasing
Right.
inequalities of pre-taxed incomes. This problem may be solved by very steep taxation. This problem may be solved by very steep taxation. Steep means very high taxation, so as to practically mop off, mop means reduce, practically mop off, OFF, the incomes above a certain height, and effective checking of tax evasion.
Above
a certain height and effective checking of tax evasion. So when we talk about the long run, then the problem is how to reduce inequality in income and wealth distribution, and that's what you have written, that a reduction in inequalities can be brought about by taxation, and taxing has to be counterbalanced by increasing inequalities of the pre-taxed income. That means when the taxes were not there, then what was the level of inequality between the incomes of the different individuals, and then when we put the taxes, then how much inequality will be prevented and how much will still be there. That kind of counterbalancing act has to be done by the government. The comparison between the pre-taxed income and the inequality, and the after tax income and the level of inequality needs to be counterbalanced, and that is why there is the alternative mechanism or measure which you have written, is that the solution lies in steep taxation. The solution lies in higher taxation, so as to mop off, so as to reduce the incomes inequality by the higher amount of tax, and in this way the inequalities can be reduced, and checking the problem of tax evasion, because then people know in advance that this is how our increased income is going to be taken away by the government in the form of tax, so they try to evade. Tax evasion, I think all of you know. So in that case, if you want to effectively check the tax evasion and you want people not to avoid taxes demanded by the government, then in that case steep taxation is one of the alternatives or solutions to bring about the equality in the income and wealth distribution. So that is how you are aiming towards the problem of effect of taxation on distribution by dividing it into two time periods. One is short run and the other is long run. Now we have to keep certain points in mind before we advocate about the long run and short run policies. What are they? Now we will talk about that there are certain points which we need to keep in mind. Number 1, you can write here connected: for various tax measures the following points should be brought about in this connection. Firstly,
Ma'am, please repeat.
we must note down the following points in this connection. First point you can write: unless there is a complete economic and political revolution in the country, unless there is a complete economic and political revolution in the country, a quick redistribution of income and wealth is not possible. A quick
please repeat.
redistribution or a rapid distribution of income and wealth is not possible unless there is a total political and economic revolution in the country. A quick redistribution of income and wealth is not a possibility. As this process is time consuming, and there are various socio-cultural factors like inheritance of private property, and so this process of equality is bound to be a slow one, and so this process of equality is bound to be a slow one. This is the first point which we need to keep in mind while talking about the short term repercussions and the long term repercussions of the effect of taxation on distribution. That there has to be a complete political and economic revolution in a country like India, where there are strong socio-cultural factors contributing to this inequality, or you can say there is a time consuming kind of process. Like if you talk about progressive taxation system, you talk about gift tax, you talk about expenditure tax, you talk about property tax, all of them are very time consuming, and that is why we can say that if we want to create equality, then we have to ensure a proper redistribution of income and wealth, which is going to be time consuming and only will be possible in the long run, you know. So that is how you are talking about this consideration. Now the second point: even if it were possible to reduce the inequalities, even if it were possible to reduce the inequalities, to a desired extent in the short run, the long term repercussions of this policy can't be ignored. Even if it were
Ma'am, please
possible
repeat the
to, I am
sentence.
repeating, even if it were possible to reduce the inequalities to a desired extent in the short run, long term repercussions of this policy can't be ignored.
Ma'am, long run.
Long run repercussions. Repercussions, I think all of you understand. The effects, the long term repercussions of this policy can't be ignored. What did you understand by this? Tell me, any one of you. Even if we are able to reduce inequalities in the short run, the long term repercussions can't be ignored. Any one of you can give an example to explain this statement? No? For example, if we are talking about the inequalities and we want to reduce it, then the alternative is to put in progressive taxation, for example. Now you know already what is progressive taxation. Higher incomes are liable to pay higher taxes and the lower incomes are liable to pay less taxes. Now it will suddenly reduce inequality even in the short run, बिकॉज द हायर इनकम ग्रुप से जो एक्स्ट्रा इनकम थी उनके हाथ में वो आपने टैक्सेस के फॉर्म में ले ली, राइट? एंड देन उस टैक्स रेवेन्यू को आपने उन गरीब लोगों पे खर्च करा जिनको कि वाकई में ज़रूरत है. बट द थिंग इज़ दैट दीज हायर इनकम ग्रुप पीपल, द बिजनेस क्लास, द कॉरपोरेट क्लास, who are the real investors for the country economic growth, are going to be discouraged to save and invest in the long run. And they will say that even if we put in that investment for you in terms of corporate social responsibility or any other item, then we are going to be taxed more. So what is the use of investing for the economic growth of the country? So this is what is called the long term repercussion, and automatically the country's economic growth is going to be affected through that. That is why the government has to think twice before introducing progressive taxation structure at a larger scale. So this is one of the another point which we have to keep in mind, that maybe short run the government is successful in swiping away the extra income in the hands of the rich people and creating equality in the income and wealth distribution. But in the long run, whatever repercussion will be on the economic growth of the country, the development of the country, that thing will have to also be kept in mind. Third point, in an underdeveloped country like India, use of taxation for reduction in inequalities of income and wealth has its own limitations.
चुप रहना एकदम. मैम
Third point, in an underdeveloped country like India, use of taxation for reduction in inequalities of income and wealth has its own limitations. For example, direct tax, please mute your mics. Direct tax with its progressive rates direct tax with its progressive rates covers only a fraction of the population. Covers only a fraction of the population. For example, income tax. That is direct tax. Direct tax is progressive, but then it has its limitation because it covers only a fraction of the total population. Indirect tax, on the other hand, can't be progressive. Indirect tax, on the other hand, cannot be progressive enough in spite of their selective coverage and differential rates. In spite of their selective coverage and differential rates. Moreover, indirect taxation is inflationary in character. Indirect taxation is inflationary in character and adds to inequalities. And indirect tax में you can give the example of, say, excise duties, sales tax.
Ma'am, excuse me. Ma'am, please repeat this point. Moreover, indirect.
Indirect taxes, on the other hand, cannot be progressive because of its selective coverage and differential rates. Indirect taxation, moreover, indirect taxation is inflationary in character and adds to inequalities because it's included in the price. Indirect tax is included in the price of the product. Sales tax is included in the price of the product, so it's inflationary because automatically if you include indirect tax in the price of the product, the prices are going to be high, the prices are going to rise further, so it's inflationary in nature. And if we want to control inflation in the economy, then indirect taxes are going to boost up the inflation. That is one of the problems. And the other is that indirect taxes are going to be borne by rich and poor equally. All the people who are consuming the product, for example, the medicines, the essential goods, they are going to pay the same amount of the taxes. So automatically the poor will be getting more poor and the rich will be getting more rich. So it will widen the gap between the rich and the poor and leading to inequalities. So that is why there is a, people tend to evade sales tax, excise duties, and it strengthens the process. So this is how we talk about the effect of taxation on income or wealth distribution. And so conclusion part, now you can write off this point. Thus if income and wealth inequalities are sought to be reduced, thus if income and wealth inequalities are sought to be reduced through tax measures, there is bound to be a conflict between this objective and that of economic growth. There is bound to be a conflict between this objective and the economic growth. So either, I think somebody's mic is open, so please mute your mics, otherwise it's creating disturbance. And so the state has to abolish either the institutions of market mechanism, private property and inheritance. So either the state has to abolish the institutions of market mechanism, private property and inheritance, and take over the task of economic growth, or it has to provide enough incentives in the economy.
Ma'am, please repeat.
Thus, if income and wealth inequalities are sought to be reduced through tax measures, there is bound to be a conflict between this objective and that of growth. Either the state has to abolish the institutions of market mechanism, inheritance, private property, and take over the task of economic growth, or it has to provide enough incentives in the economy. Only then the taxation can produce a positive effect. Only then the taxation can produce and a positive effect on the income and wealth distribution. So this completes this area of effect of taxation on distribution. I wanted to